Okay. Oh, yeah. Good morning. Everything okay? Okay. Songji Chudong Dzogchen La Xiongche Barda Dana Yapsan Dake Yanso Jepe Sonam Drola Penshir Songjen Drapara Xio Songji Chudong Dzogchen Chonam Xiongche Barda Dana Yapsan Dake Yanso Jepe Sonam Drola Penshir Songjen Drapara Xio Songji Chudong Dzogchen Chonam La Xiongche Barda Dana Yapsan Dake Yanso Jepe Sonam Drola Penshir Songjen Drapara Xio Semchen Tamche Deva Don Devi Jadon Dember Chichi Dungar Don Dungar Go Jadon Terra Church Dungar Mepa Deva Don Badon Mandara Churchi Nyeri Chodon Nidon Tarva Don Yantse Mepa La Nipper Churchi Semchen Tamche Deva Don Devi Jadon Dember Dungar Don Dungar Go Jadon Terra Chichi Dungar Mepa Deva Don Badon Mandara Churchi Nyeri Chodon Nidon Tarva Don Yantse Mepa La Nipper Church Semchen Tamche Deva Don Devi Jadon Dember Chichi Dungar Don Dungar Go Jadon Terra Chichi Dungar Mepa Deva Don Badon Mandara Church Nyeri Chodon Nidon Tarva Don Yantse Mepa La Nipper Churchi Niji Chimbo Tsoden Himashi Zoni Malam Chimbo Ngajarta Pekar Tengo Sentu Shumad Tumba Tuje Chanla Sorvande Jagar Penchen Pola Katranchi Pemalin Tron Kalandi Trome Tartar Honam Sumbu Kanans Urgyen Rinpoche La Sorvande Showaman Chuje Yinje Potoni Tusan Sonji Kanjung Ovanya Ronsen Chuku Mansu Tenzip Lama Chabla Sorvande Dawson Dolo Na Chula Yer Sosan Dunga Chenda Che Jinchen Yarsome Pon Shiva Jelas Semchen Tand Yerda Donjana Tamba Nam Jenun Tsard So good morning. Now we are studying about how to follow up the spiritual friend and like generally speaking how we can follow teacher and there are many different type of the teacher like a kind of the primary teacher and secondary teacher, intermediate teacher, university teacher and also it's like economic teacher and material teacher and spiritual teachers. And then it's like we are now talking about the spiritual friend in the Buddhist point of view. Then it's in the Buddhist point of view, the spiritual friend is very important. And why? Because if we proper and correctly to find the qualified teacher, and these teachers can grant to us really is a forever happiness. This is a really like kind of the most important task. And in the like kind of the single beings to be enlightenment without spiritual teacher, almost there's no existence, you can to say. And in the Buddha's scriptures they say, and there's no existence, nothing there's described any in the Sutta perspective, Tantra, Shastras, and all the Buddhas of the past, present, futures, they are also follow their own individual teacher, then they become enlightenment. Therefore, we are talking about very important. Any kind of normal basic educations, okay, if someone has such a good knowledge and to have some qualities, then it's okay. But in the Dharma teacher and spiritual teacher really need some specific qualities described in the Sutta and the entire Shastras. And also it's like particularly there's one is insurpassable quality, that is the compassions. We already like this. And this chapter is how to follow up the spiritual friend. The main is the 3 chapters. First, how we examine the teacher. In the middle, how we kind of follow up the teacher. And teacher, which kind of need teacher. And student also, which kind of student. And also ourselves, the student, how we follow the teachers. There's many different kind of discipline, and all this discipline is very much benefit for ourselves in order to be enlightenment, in order to be genuine person. Even we can to say it's difficult to be enlightenment, but if we want to make authentic person, genuine, like a great mankind, and then we need to keep those discipline and also to obey the teachers, what to give advice. That's very important. And why we follow the teacher? Because we make ourselves is good person, compassionate, kindness, realization person, and also wise scholars, to open the eyes of the discriminating wisdom. Then it's like understand in the relative realities what is right, what is the wrong. Of course, sometimes we meet this wrong kind of the spiritual friend, like a kind of the crazy, fake, and also it's like mad, pretenders, like deceitful some teachers. And they're like kind of pretending teachers, but reality is really very, 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 very dangerous. And it is the truth. And also Patrul Rinpoche says in the decadent times or the degeneration times, it's difficult to find the qualified teacher. It is true. And also we need to research and instead to follow some crazy mad guy is like kind of fake or like kind of deceitful teachers, maybe without better. And because it's like if you haven't got any teacher, maybe you don't much kind of doing the negative things. And if you kind of first follow the teacher, second is like your disturbed emotions more increase, and there's nothing kind of the contentment and nothing kind of the qualities received from the teacher. And then it's like they finally become very arrogant, proud, and very much critical person. And like kind of some is like someone's all the times want to criticize to the others. They criticize teacher, they criticize any kind of other practitioners. Then finally we become like this. Then it's like kind of destroying ourselves, also destroying to that. And therefore it is very important to have a good teacher. Today is the last third our chapter, and emulating the teacher's realization and actions. That is the very important. And also it's like the teacher's realization then and actions. This sequential is very important. First timers, we need to emulate or investigate about the teacher's realization and education, and also his experience, how the teacher is great expert about the true nature of the realities. And that is the most important. If we don't analyze the realizations, we like not imitating the realization, we just imitating actions, then it's like kind of not very good. It is like kind of contradicted. First, we need imitating realization. Then realization's point of view, we become the same as the teacher. Then we can do imitating action. Then it's correct, very much correspond. And this inner realization, externally like actions, like this. When you are the perfectly versed in how to follow a teachers, and you need to decisively to study how to follow your teacher, and how I can to have a very good relationship with the teacher, how I can to obey the teacher's command, how I can to practice teacher's pity instruction into path. And also it's like to listen all the descriptions how to follow the teachers. That is the versed in how to follow your teacher. And you should be like a swan, gliding smoothly on a immaculate lake, delighting in its water without making them muddy. Like kind of the water birds, like specifically swans, big kind of the water birds. When they are relying on the like kind of the lake in the sea or in the any water, a pump, like a kind of the gliding smoothly, like kind of they're assuming around, but almost there's no kind of the sound. Very smoothly, on immaculate, like kind of the excellently. And then it's like delighting into this water without kind of the making dirty. Never they like kind of slowly into like swamps like this, then muddy. Like this kind of, when we be in the like kind of lake or water of the teachers, like ourselves is example like kind of the swamp. We are like kind of the swimming in the qualities of the teacher, realization of the teacher, actions of the teachers, and without kind of the displease to the teacher, and without break samayas, and like kind of very gentle, smoothly need to receive all the whatever exists qualities in the teacher's mind. We need to pull into our minds. That is the very important. Or like a bee in the flower garden, taking nectar from the flowers and living without spoiling their color or the like kind of the fragrance. And also it's like honey bees. They are like kind of the going one by one. It's like in the flowers, landing into the flower, taking honey and like kind of the more of the nectar. But it's they never kind of destroy the flowers. All the time it's very gentle, smooth, and without spoiling it, like a color or like kind of the fragrance, smell, everything. But they choose to take out the honey like this. Also, we are like kind of the beer, and the flower is the teacher, the nectar and the honey, it is the like a teaching. And like this we need to how to we get without disciplines, without break the samayas, and to get the honey of the pit instructions or the teacher's teaching. And also the doing the whatever he say without ever feeling bored or tired, be like receptive to your teachers. and like receptive. It is like kind of very much kind of the wisdom, and also it's like any like kind of situations easily to understand, to be very much receptive, maybe intelligent way. Whatever you do, and like when you be with the teachers, and like feeling bored or tired or maybe cold or hot, any kind of the situations, to be like kind of receptive to your teachers. That means is to be very intelligently and to understand the like teachers, what is going on in the mind, the movement of the teacher's mind. Of course, that is a little bit difficult, but in the indirectly, kind of the asymmetry or like kind of guestly, maybe we can know us a little bit, and that very be carefully to do like this is very important. And also through your faith and steadfastness, make sure that you absorb all his qualities of knowledge, reflection and meditation, like the contents of one perfect vessel being poured into another, exactly like we need to this kind of, and to have a perfect irreversible faith, and also steadfastness. Steadfastness means it's like any kind of situations, like Abster says, even you feeling bored or tired, cold, any kind of the situations, to be the receptive and like kind of this kind of the steadfastness. Make sure that you absorb it, to got it, like kind of the all the teachers' realizations and knowledges, absorbed all the college knowledges, like reflection and as it is like kind of the direct. For example, maybe it's like you be in the front of your mirror, whatever you have, you on the face, your shape of the face, color of the face, there's nothing kind of the mixed or missed. Everything is reflect on that. And also it's like also teacher's knowledge, reflection means it's like kind of the contemplating, and also meditation's qualities. This is like kind of how you like poured into your mind. There is the example, contents of the one perfect vase, and inside full of this nita. This perfect vessel inside this liquid of the nita, and being poured into the another, that means it's like the vessel is the teacher, and inside this perfect liquid, and that is the knowledge of the teachers, poured into the another vessel is our student's mind. Like this, like then it's this sort of we needed. Otherwise we follow the long time, years and years, and like some teachers, maybe we haven't got any development, then it's not very good. Maybe there is error, maybe teacher has error, maybe ourselves student has error, and how it is we can to look. Sometimes I'm just thinking it's our Dharma brothers and sisters, how many we be together, how much we studied books, and then is how much we tamed our mind. Are you more kind of the sympathetic, more cheerful, more understander, or like kind of the more stable? And of course some student is like changed so marvelous way. It is not kind of due to your teacher, but in yourself is fantastic. You changing, that is the effect or like kind of a result of your really to practice Dharma. It's a wonderful. Someone is like more to study Dharma, more follow the teachers, more critical. It's like kind of a little bit, few words become very, very arrogant, and it's like kind of the fly in the sky. And in the like a kind of study, reflection, and meditation is maybe lower sort than the earth. But according to your arrogant and your kind of the pretending understand is like very high than the sky, then it's very critical. Whatever you do, whatever you service, then it's like a big kind of problems. Then finally you criticize teacher, you criticize your brother, everything you need to criticize, and nobody cannot to make you happy. And this kind of, if we become very sad, why we need to follow the spiritual friend? Better to give up, I would to say. And sometimes some student we are discussing, and how many years you followed, and someone says like, okay, maybe it's like a not very good. Then I say, better to change. Why you are spent so many years not good? Maybe it is like there's nothing received the benefit. Oh my God, much better to change. And also it's like some teachers, maybe it's like this. For example, later we can to look Jetsun Malaripa, and also he has first teacher. Finally, he first teacher say, you're not your teacher. You need to go to other teachers. Like this, sometimes the teachers to taming the student, give education, sometimes it's impossible. And then it's like these teachers, there's no child, nothing kind of say, please search into another teachers. Like this, it's like any kind of teachers cannot tame to ours. Then we have problems, Maybe it's a demons enter into our minds, 100% sure. Like this is we all the times taking care. And this quotation also, treasury of precious qualities, chapter 5 verse 46, this is like Jigme Limbas. It says, like a swan, like a swooning on a perfect lake. Swan means, I think, swimming, swimming this all the time. They like a swan swimming on a perfect lake, but they never make muddy, as already said. Or a beer tasting the, or a bee tasting the nectar of the flowers. This already describes and above. Without ever complaining, but always receptive to him, to the teacher. Be very intelligent how you can be together. So always open your teacher with exemplary conduct. And exemplary conduct, for example, some student, we can to say it's like like for example, first Patrul Rinpoche, he's like kind of the best student, like a kind of exemplary conduct, and he's become the much like kind of, it's like much extraordinary conduct than his own teacher, Jigme Jarvanyaka. And like this, then is the students also is like kind of some student. It's really, of course there are many good students in Europe, but when I heard, it's like in the France, this Lama Machurika, how it is the wonderful histories. He is like exemplary student conduct. How many years he followed the like teachers. Of course, he was very lucky, and he met the really living Buddha of the Dzogchen Rinpoche, and many years followed Rinpoche. And also after the Rinpoche passed away, he all the time is like to taking care. He's like kind of the ending activity, or it's like after the activities. and very humble, and very much kind of the useful, like kind of cheerful, compassionate. This sort of course, maybe also another in Europe, many this kind of student. This kind of, you need to in the futures exemplary conduct. And it's like kind of you need to ourselves, or maybe I want to use to you. You need to become the much better than your teachers. You know, in the Kagyu traditions, in the ancient times, some Kagyu masters, they all the times make retreats, like a kind of the retreaters. Kagyu tradition is like teachers, student is like a more successful student. The teachers like this. Each teacher sometimes are very wonderful teachers. For example, Mara Lotsa has extraordinary students. Malaripa, he has extraordinary student of the like example of the Gambopas, and so on like this. And we also, you should to become like the exemplary conduct. Through such devotion, you will experience all his qualities. And it's like kind of the through the devotion, through the kind of irreversible faith, and like a kind of the purely to follow up, then you can to experience the teacher's realization, teacher's conduct, everything's without kind of the devotion, without the faith, without a kind of honest determinedly, how you can to experience teacher's qualities is almost there's impossible. Whenever your sublime teacher accumulate great waves of the merit and wisdom through his bodhisattva's activity, here is like talking about when is your teachers doing something accumulation merit. Maybe yesterday already we said, maybe teachers studying, give educations, you need to be there, to participate, and like kind of to listen. And maybe teachers reflect on, like contemplated Dharma. You also to be together, to participate. And also teachers meditation times, as much 1 minute if you can to spend together. Also it's very important. And also maybe teachers doing something like a kind of the making the generosities and making like kind of keeping discipline, all 6 transcendent, any kind of virtuous activity or the accumulations like kind of this merit and wisdoms we should do attend, we should to involve. It's very important. That's your own participation with the least material offering or effort of body or speech is truth. Sometimes like maybe we are very poor, maybe it's like teachers or something like kind of offering, maybe generosity, maybe doing something. Also it's like the representative of the Buddhas, like kind of stupa, statue, temples. And that is also quite very important. Maybe in the according to your financially, you cannot do nothing, you cannot offer it, but maybe physically, verbally, sometimes to participate in. Is this virtue? It's like kind of you can to share. That is very important. And also slightest thing he does will bring you as much merit as spring from his own like unsurpassable intentions. And also it's like even the just your offering of the choice at the slightest thing he does it. That means it's like even the teachers doing things, no jealous, no competition, no kind of the angry. I don't know, my teachers like kind of the doing something, maybe offering, maybe generosity, like kind of generosity, or maybe creating like kind of the temple, statue, and the stupa, so on, so on. And this kind of like be angry or take jealous and the competition, not like this, to be very much rejoice than the slightly like whatever this teacher's doing. And then it's like there is like unsurpassable intention teacher he has, like kind of the generation bodhichartas. According this, then it's like this merit, even that you can to received. Wonderful. Small rejoice that you get the huge meritorious, and that is the wonderful, absolutely. For example, when we are talking about the full immeasurable, like kind of the choice, immeasurable self. And this is like the one is the best, is the rejoice. For the rejoice to your own teachers, excellent. Teachers may be happy and teachers comfortable. Teacher is like not sick. Teacher is something you should rejoice. Happy is like this. There is the kind of the examples how you can to share. This example is a little bit strange, but we can to say. Once there were two men traveling to Central Tibet, Lhasa. The only food that one of them had was a handful of the brown tsamba made from like beans. As a bean made tsamba is not that delicious than the like barley tsamba. Also, he hasn't got much. And he gave it to his companion, like traveler companions. Mixed it with the others, capricious sublime of white barley tsambas. Very much kind of to have a lot of things. Campirios means it's like kind of he has maybe 100 kilos of the barley tsamba there. And this kind of the supply means it's like kind of the picnics. And picnic, that is the tsamba. It's like supply. It's like supply, it's kind of the picnic. When you are traveling and then you bring some food, that is we call the supplies. Okay. Then it's like several days later, the better of traveler means he has like the copious supply of the white barley tsamba. This guy's better of travelers said to his poor brown like tsamba made by grain, he's like a kind of the fellow voyage, his friend. I think your green, this green tsamba, brown tsamba, probably finished it by now. Of course, this poor guy is quite intelligent. Okay, no problem. Let's have a look. The others said, so they did. They looked, but there was still some bean tsamba left. And another day she checked many times, again and again. The bean tsamba was never finished because it's like whole is mixed. So that in the end they had to share all this delicious tsamba equally, no choice. Like this is kind of the examples. Maybe it's like teachers or some doing huge kind of some positive things. If you like kind of, there's not much kind of offering of the material physically, but even you choose to rejoice of this green tsamba, you can then until you become the enlightenment, you can to share this kind of the delicious tsamba, that making the delicious tsamba virtue of the doing the teachers. And this is very important. Likewise, simply by offering a small material contribution to someone else's positive actions, and doing like this, any kind of, even the, of course, the teachers, no need to mention any others, or by the like kind of the participating physically or the verbally, you can attain as the much merit as they do. Even like kind of any kind of that someone's doing the virtues, You just a little bit to like kind of the participating physically or verbally or materially. And it's like kind of that you can to share. Therefore, it's wonderful. For example, in Tibet or some Buddhist countries, for example, if someone make kind of the big, huge accumulation merit, and then they kind of to participate. It's like kind of the maybe one candle, maybe one biscuit, maybe it's like 1 cent, maybe like this. This just like kind of the connections. And after maybe it's like to share this meritorious, because it's there are like the doer, maybe teacher or some great like practitioners. They have impossible, how do you say, impossible intention of the bodhicitta. This kind of the like kind of blessed is we can to share. Specifically to serve to the teachers daily needed, to carry message for him, or even just to sweep his room, or in a kind of the infallible way to accumulate merit. So try to do such things as you can, as much as you can. That is the most important. Like infallible. Infallible means there's nothing kind of the, how do you say, it's like mistake. If you do like this, maybe sweep or maybe clean the room, and some is like kind of there's something as much as you can. That is like, that is not a mistake. It's never kind of waste, never kind of the useless. All the time is there's a good result. And therefore, and then again, Jigme Rinpoche take is like quotation say, all actions consistent with the aim of the holy teachers. And there's a consistency, there's such a kind of the aim of the yourself, aim of the kind of the others. And it is like kind of any kind of teachers or the noble beings' actions, they're consistent, huge aims. And therefore, holy teachers and the nobles doing times, we should to participate, truly engaged in the activity of the bodhicitta, and like a kind of the completely involvement and the bodhicitta, whatever they doing, all the times according to the bodhicitta. Then is bodhicitta is like how is the benefit qualities of the bodhicittas, and accumulating merit and wisdom, all the efforts. And it's like kind of the according whatever the actions, like extraordinary, and it's like consists with the aim of the holy teachers, the activities. And this kind of accumulating merit and the wisdoms. And also it's like we should to be aware of that and to try to participate. Also we can to share this merit and wisdoms. And serve him carrying his message, or the even the sweep his floors to clean up. Sometimes it's like it is like teachers kind of the rooms home, and to make the shine. Some, if you go to the Buddhist, some temples, some students go to in the temple, they clean all the floors, like kind of shine. It looks like a mirror. As much as you clean, that much also you purified your negative emotions or negatives, obscurations. And also it's like a kind of the teacher's house we are considering is like kind of the temple. Of course, if you like kind of do temple, it's like exactly the same. While be the fruitful, absolutely each movement, if you do, it is a very much fruitful result, the consequences there is. This is the best path of accumulating, doing. For example, Jetsun Malaripa, Telop, Narupa, they like kind of, even the many Patrul Rinpoche own students, all the time is obey the teachers kind of the teachings. Finally, the student is already enlightenment. It's not very much kind of the practice things, but they all the times correctly to follow up, and then this fruition is fruitful. Is finally they are no need to go to the retreat place. They're already enlightenment through the like kind of the like service or the like kind of the how do you say, it's like to be like a best kind of receptacle for the teachers kind of teachings, and then you are like being. This is the best path of the accumulating, and also of all the paramount source of refuge or opportunities for accumulating merit. There's none greater than the teachers. Of course, we say it's like kind of the paramount source, excellent the source of the refugee, and the single like source of the refugee, like kind of the supreme single source of refuge, that is our own teachers. And this kind of the opportunity for the accumulated merit and the wisdom with great our own supreme teachers. And that is the kind of no than that, no existence. And therefore it is like offering things to the third jewels and taking refuge in the fourth jewels, because the fourth jewel is the representative of the three jewels. The fourth, the source of the refuge, is the embodiment of the three kayas, three roots, or the source of the siddhis, blessings, lineages, and therefore it is like our qualified teacher is like this. Especially while he is the giving on empowerment and teachings, that most important times you offering even the tea, biscuit, any kind of the teachers giving like empowerment or the teaching times. In the compassion and blessing of all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, our intus pour into his secret person, and they become indivisibly one with all the Buddhas. And indivisible, our teacher for the 10 directions, Buddha and Bodhisattvas. And like kind of the representative of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas 10 directions, that is kind of our own, the teacher. Therefore, indivisibly, one with all the Buddhas. And that we need to understand that. Then it's like we need to more have to kind of the devotion, faith, and like this. I mean, also need to repeat again, qualified teacher, a qualified teacher, searching qualified teacher, and any kind of the, like a kind of the modern materials, like kind of believers, that we need to taking care. They're using this kind of tools and kind of the cheating to the student. Some stupid, no-educated kind of the ordinary peoples and follow. It's a very much risky and very much dangerous. But if you find the really qualified teachers, then we should to do like this. And at such a times, there before offering him even a like a mouthful of food is more powerful than the 100 or the 1,000 of offering at the times. And if you know that, the blessing will come sweetly. And generally, when you are offering 100 or the 1,000 material, physically, or any kind of, and instead of doing like this, during this teachers giving the teaching empowerment, that moment, even you offer like a mouthful of the food, extraordinary meritorious, much better. That is like the blessing will come very kind of the smoothly and like this. In the deity practice of the generation phase, there are many different forms of the particularly deities on which to meditate. And of course, it's like one during the meditations, you are the meditating according the deities. That means it's like when you are meditating Guru Rinpoche, you are meditating Guru Rinpoche's like kind of aspect, how it is on Guru Rinpoche's like attribute, clothes, and sitting, everything. And like Buddha or Buddha medicine, Tara, and so on. And like you meditate like this. But, what is the but? The nature of the all of them, these deities, is nothing other than your own root teachers. The essence, each these deities, the really hardcore, inner this the like kind of the nature mind's deities is your teachers. We need to recognize that. I mean, like kind of the practicing like a creation stage, which is the Guru Rinpoche. Externally, like a form is the Guru Rinpoche, but reality is my own root teachers. Of course, someone is like kind of the irreversible faith, devotions. They never transform into any deities. Like your teacher is Guru Rinpoche, your own teacher is like Buddha, your teacher is Tara, your teacher is Buddha medicine. Teacher itself, just kind of the everything is like this. And that is like very important and to understand. Do you understand? During the like kind of creation stage phase, there are many different form of the particular deities, but the nature of all of these deities, nothing other than your own root teachers. That is, we should to remember all the ways in the which wisdom develop in the perfection phase depend only on the power of your devotion and to your teacher and of his blessings. And also it's like kind of all the develop of the perfection phase. Perfection phase is the dissolutions. And dissolution phase, that is like kind of the how do you say, it's like primordial wisdom. The dissolution at the perfection phase is like kind of the meaning of the primordial, your own, the like kind of the true nature of the realities. It is like kind of developed into your mind, or like kind of taking the rebirth into your mind, or to forms depend only on the power of your devotion. Devotion, irreversible faith, and only the like kind of this come through these teachers and blessing, and like one is your devotion and teacher's blessing is coming together, then you can to realize it, to pull it into your minds, and like this. That is the very important. That's all. And also consists of the giving birth to the wisdom of teacher's realization within your minds, and also through the devotion and faiths, and of course teacher's realization within our own mind quickly, urgently, and we need that. But if we need it, in order to need it, we need really devotion and the faith. And like kind of the giving the birth to the wisdoms, if we want to really to give birth to the wisdom of the teacher, and through the devotion and the kind of the faith. And this essence of the what has to be realized at all stages of the practice. and then included those of the generation and perfection phase, is therefore embodied in the teachers himself. And it's like kind of the old creation stage or the dissolution stage, or it is like kind of the path of the two faces. Actually, it is like kind of the essence of the accomplishment, the embodiment in the teacher himself, that we need to recognize. That is the why all the sutta and tantras describe him as the being the Buddha in the person, in your individual perspective. The quotation we need to go, okay? And why is he the refuge and the field of the myriad? Why is like there's kind of the questions. There is because there are outer and inner yogas of accomplishing the teachers. And like kind of the outer maybe is like your Danguri yoga. It is like kind of the Yadam deities, or it's like kind of different. Maybe it's like a relative for the outer, like a teacher or the practice yoga or the teacher. It is your own personal root teacher. And also there's sometimes you imagine your teacher is as a deity and or direct teacher, and this outer teacher rely on outer teacher. We need to realize that the inner teacher, our ultimate teacher is our own Buddha nature, and therefore with the outer teacher we cannot to visit inner teacher. And therefore it's like uncompleted all the time is talking about the teachers. And also it's like contain the essence of the what is to be realized through the generation and perfections phase. And that is also is like need to realize the teachers. And the teachers' nature of the reality, the wisdoms merged into our mind, we can to realize our own to nature realities. That is why all the sutta and tantra say he is the Buddha himself and is like kind of the person. Although the wisdom mind of sublime teacher is inseparable from that of all the Buddhas, and this realization's qualities point of view, and it's like all like this as inseparable from of all the other Buddhas, indivisibles. It's like kind of the equal of all other Buddhas. And of course it's like a kind of our teachers and the Buddha and the Bodhisattvas, they are equal realizations, same. There is a kind of differentiations for our perspectives in order to guide us. And his disciples, impure as we are, he has appeared in the ordinary human forms. But in the Buddha and Bodhisattvas, according to our disciples, impure as we are, like that viewpoint, we can't to meet to them, we can't to communicate to them, we can't visit to those Buddha and Bodhisattvas. But in order to benefit for the disciples, and then it's like our karmic connections, our teachers appear in the like normal form of the same as us, ordinary human forms. And that is like through these forms, they like teachers bring us to the enlightenment and to give education and to make genuine to us, authentic person to us. Very much kind, how we can to repayment for this kindness. Therefore, we need to respect to the teachers. So while we have him here in a person, we must try our best to do whatever he say, and to unite our mind with his through the three kind of the service. And through the three kind of the service, like supreme service, it is that to practice Dharma. And secondary, like a kind of the service, is like a kind of the offering body, speech, mind. And last one is like kind of service by the material offering things. And this kind of three kind of the service, and then is like a kind of we need to mixed, united our mind with the teacher's minds, and then we can to be enlightened maybe in this single life. And there are people who say, and kind of someone do not understand his, instead of the serving, respecting and obeying the teacher while he was still alive, maybe it's like when we be in the teachers together, we may be ignored, we don't like kind of service, respecting, obeys. And that times, there's we can to say the funny talking things. For example, now, when you are talking at the Mobang Rinpoche's, it's like really mature is appeared like a person, human beings. Extraordinary, almost in Tibet, most intelligent scholar, like a kind of the, oh my God, the Mobang Rinpoche is really extraordinary masters. And when he was like 6 or 7 years old, almost a basic education, astrologist, everything is finished. He has 9 or 10 years old, he has many commentaries, and extraordinary. And he was in Dzogchen. There was one monk, and Mobang Rinpoche is living with this monk, and there are many years they stayed together, and he don't recognize. He think it's just normal, one like kind of practitioner. Then later, and they said, oh, Mobang Rinpoche passed away. Great masters are running. He's most like kind of students and running and collecting the Mobang Rinpoche's teachings like this. Everybody's crying like this. And he says, this monk says, this Mobang, he's something important. I thought it's just, he's like a little black guy. I thought it's kind of nothing important. He was stayed together maybe many years, but he don't serve us, he don't respect, he don't obey. And then it's of course he never ever can receive even the teaching. Living in the Buddha alive, but it's like kind of the die up this accumulation of these opportunities. Like this, sometimes it's like when we be in with our own qualified teachers, we like kind of ignored that. We do not recognize it. We never kind of the servant or respecting obeys. My families. Oh yeah, it's close. I know it's like this. All the time is looking the kind of the defects things. Never like that moment alive. And then it's like the prophets now that he has passed away to be meditating on a picture like someone has made of himself. It is like kind of the and then is after this teacher is the passed away, prophets now say, oh yes, my teacher. Then you like kind of the pointing out a picture, a drawing picture, and like this sort of, then it's like I'm a followed, maybe a little bit kind of the opposite. Practice someone has the made of the hymn. And like this, there are the other who claim to be absorbed in the contemplation of the natural state and looking for all kind of profundities elsewhere, some place, something is like a kind of, oh, my teachers now is the passed away, I received the teacher. But one is the teachers alive, criticize, never respect, never obeys, and teachers already passed away, then it's like kind of the sending tears and like kind of the punching teacher's picture put in the like shiny room, and it says like, oh, I received this, that. We don't know really, you are maybe a liar. And then it's like kind of the, I like kind of the meditative profundities and in this place. And what are you like kind of practicing? Oh, I made this holiness, I made this kind of great practitioner. Probably I realize the nature of the realities. Oh, my teachers like this. But if you really more closer, and then it's like you be with your teacher, I don't know how much you respect, how much you service, how much you devoted to your own teacher. Maybe during the life, more kind of criticize, more like kind of the searching for the kind of defect. But then after maybe claim, because maybe you want to become famous, you want to do something kind of this sort of teacher like me, not like this. This we never do like this, cannot. Here is the instead of pray with devotion that they may receive in themselves the quality of the freedom and realization of the teacher's wisdom mindset. And during this is like, here is like, sometimes I'm thinking there's one missing sentences, but it doesn't matter. It is like when Islam is alive, that time you need to pray, you need to put devotion, and that time you like kind of received the qualities of the freedom and realization of the teacher's mind. And after the teachers passed away, you kind of like imitating or the like deceitful way. Maybe it's outside you looks like practice, inside of how much you have devotion. We don't know that. But proclaim like kind of I'm meditating for profundities is the pity instruction of my teachers. Where is your teacher? Oh, my teachers already passed away, gone. So maybe your teachers passed away, maybe you are more happy, because there's no anymore criticize to you, no anymore like kind of the reboot you, and then it's like now I'm free. Why I need to take care? One is like lamas are alive, your teachers are alive, you are hated, and more like kind of and in no devotion, no faith, and this like we never cannot do like this. If do like this, we destroy our own selves. This is known as the practicing and aid with the practice. This is known as practicing and aid with the practice. At odd means it's like opposite, practicing opposite with the practice. It is like kind of contradicted each other. They never ever do like this. Okay, maybe it is the tea timers. Not really. Okay.